Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from Cool Cleveland. We're here at Axpona 2025 in Chicago, Illinois. And we're meeting up right now with David Solomon from Qobuz. David, thank you so much. You just gave us a little listening sesh, but it wasn't about the technology. It wasn't about the software. It was about the music, right? It feels like that's where Qobuz is coming from.
Yeah, it really is. Now, we do have tons of high resolution. If it's available in high resolution, there's a real good chance that we've got it. But most of the people at Qobuz don't necessarily focus on the numbers. We focus on the music. That's a ton of music lovers. So Qobuz will give you anything from 1644 to 24192 streaming, but we just opened a download service, which is really cool. I mean, we've been selling high-res downloads forever. It really helps support the artists better than anything else that we do. But we just started selling DSD. So this is going to be like really cool because that is, kind of like the creme de la creme of recordings if you can possibly get them. So now you can buy DSD recordings from Qobuz. Yeah. And one thing I'm super proud of, an independent report just came out, it was about 2 weeks ago, and always they're talking about streaming just is horrible to the artists. It just doesn't pay very well. Well, we just got this report back, and it turns out that we're paying over 4 times more to the artists for streaming than any of the other companies are paying. So we knew we were kind of at the end of our, the end of the wicket with, how much we could pay, but this report came out that just confirmed it. So I've never really announced that before. I've always had a real good idea. And when I say we pay artists more, it's typically because of the download store, because that pays artists on scale. But when you take into consideration the actual streaming is paying about 4 times more, right. As a music lover and as an artist advocate, there's nothing that could make me happier.
Right. No, that means something. It really does. And again, your heart comes from the music and to musicians. Talk about how all this started, because Qobuz was really one of the first, if not the first, high-res streaming service. But it was only available in France at first,
you knew.
Right?
Yeah.
It was really, I think it was the first, but it wasn't available here, and so we had to go with Tidal. But apparently, your trajectory. We spoke to you years ago, and you've moved around a bit, but you helped Tidal come into the U.S., and now you introduced Qobuz into the U.S. as well.
Yeah, that's been. I got to tell you, that has been. That's been just a privilege. I mean, who could have been the guy that does 2 streaming services? The first lossless that was available here was Tidal, and I worked with them. The second, then Jay-Z bought it.
That's right.
And I mean, they took one look at me, and I think I lasted 6 months. It's like, yeah, this guy. I mean, I'm just imagining what they say, like, this guy isn't part of the posse, but. But I did love the service, and we just did some crazy things with it. But then Qobuz, I heard they were coming to town, and I started talking to those guys, and this was the service that I was born to represent. I mean, because we have the same values, super, super heavy artist advocates. They're in this for the right reason, and it's the only company that's independently owned. We have one owner in France, and there's no conglomerate. Every other service, it's just sort of a cherry on the top of a conglomerate. With this, it is our only business, so that's the only thing that we do. So we feel like we have got a bit more heart in it, and we do things for reasons that are typically artist-centric, and we think that that's maybe a little slower growth than we would like, but the owners are really, really smart. And they make us grow small. They make us grow slow. But if you know anything about great businessmen, that's typically how it works. It's a ramp up. It's not typically, all at once, unless you start with, billions of dollars, which we didn't.
But you're focused, Qobuz, is on the music, nothing else, no podcasts, no sort of music videos.
We could make a lot of extra money if we did that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of new business models happening now around that, and I would be interested to see if you explore that eventually.
I don't think so. From everything that I know about the company, that's just not who we are. That's not who we want to be. We're music people, and we think that we can by doing different features and featuring more music the way that we're going to get our own. There's enough real music lovers out there that we've seen them just come over to Qobuz because we know they're real music lovers.
Talk about something you mentioned in the listening session, which is you offer a wide range of resolution, real high res, 24, 192, but you're also saying that even CD resolution sometimes, because of the mastering or whatever it is, right? Sometimes, so don't avoid that and just play a numbers game and go after the highest resolution all the time. You're saying you have some favorites that are really the lower resolution because there's something special about that particular master.
Yeah, there's two reasons to make a high resolution recording. One would be we want to make some more money off this recording. I'll give you an example there. Johnny Winter just had a re-release of an album in 2496, 192. It's not even worthy of 1644. I mean, it's not a great recording at all.
People will buy it.
But because it's 24,192. Right. Now, there's other stuff that, and this is where the music lover part of it comes in. There's other stuff that you hear the 24,192 or the 2496 or 2488 or even the 2444. Some of those recordings are so much better than the 1644 recording because a lot of care was taken. Or there was information on the master tapes that they just, did a really fast recording of the CD. They did it in 1644. However, most 1644 records, recordings are not really, that's just a theoretical limit. It's like, theoretical limit is like 1,411 kilobits per second. But if you pare that down to what people are actually recording in, I've got a couple of players that show you the actual bit rate, and usually 1644 will get you anywhere between 400 for a really lousy recording, engineer that really didn't know what they were doing, right? And the very best that you can get, which is, these guys know exactly what they're doing. Perfect example of that is Cookie Marenko. She's one of my favorite recording engineers, and she owns a label called Blue Coast. Right. Cookie, even when she was like in her 20s, she was making 16-bit recordings that you're going, that if I played you today, you would go, that's high res. Well, that is someone that knows how to take advantage of the format. Now we got 24-bit recordings, so you don't have to be quite as good to get up toward that 16-bit level, right? Because some of these equivalents are 8-bit or 6-bit or 9-bit or 12-bit, but never really 16. I mean, that never gets that kind of, on poor recordings. It's usually, like I say, between 400 and really good ones, or maybe hit 1,100. I've never seen one that hit 1,411. But regularly, when you go to, say, 2496, you're well over 1,000. You're sometimes in the 2,000, so you're well over what a CD can do. So, yeah, it's a really exciting time right now.
It is.
And especially for recording engineers that don't have to be quite as good as they used to have to be to get as much bit depth as they can.
Well, there's a lot of information in these recordings, even the older recordings.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing with us today. Thanks for taking a few moments. Keep up the good work here at Qobuz, and we'll continue to stay in touch.
Thanks very much. Take care.
Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from Cool Cleveland. We're here at Axpona 2025.